Hello there. It is time to talk crop report again. On October 11th at 11 a.m., the USDA crop production and supply and demand report came out again. Although we were slightly higher in corn and firmly higher in beans prior to the report, we have been in the red on both after the report was issued. A few of the details on the report, we're going to kind of go over those right now. USDA estimated corn crop to be at 15.203 billion bushels versus the expectations of 15.155 billion bushels. The yield was increased to 183.8 versus the market that was trading at it of 183.4. 2024 to 2025 carryout was increased to 1.999 billion bushels versus the average market guess of 1.962 billion bushels. Smaller carry-in and increased exports were offset by higher production. The U.S. supplies were above average trade guess, but world supplies were reduced, which made mostly neutral reaction. World carryout went from 308.35 million tons to 306.52 million tons. The beans had minor changes to 2023-2024 carryout with lower production and lower domestic demand. The offset was an increase in residual use. 2023-24 sits at 342 million bushels, up 2 million from the previous reports. That put 24-25 production reduced with yields from 53.2 last month to 53.1 this month. This is still a record high yield above trend line. Production is forecasted at a record high 4.582 billion bushels, with the largest producing states being Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Indiana, and Nebraska. 24-25 carryout is 550 million bushels, unchanged from last report. This is just a lot of numbers. It's a lot of information. More or less, we're pretty negative to neutral on the reports. But I did want to give you some historical yield data information just so you were aware and put this yield information in perspective for you. So Iowa corn yield, what they're coming out with is a 214 bushel yield for Iowa. Last year, our yield was 201, and the record for Iowa is 204 bushel yield. So Illinois, they're coming out with a 222 bushel yield. Last year was a 206 bushel yield, and their record for Illinois is 214. So Minnesota, where it's been raining and they talk about flooding all the time, they're coming out with a 183 bushel yield. Last year was 185, so it's not devastating, and their record is 195. So let's jump over to the beans. We've, on the east side, have had beans coming out of crazy spots. Iowa beans are a yield of 64. Last year, we yielded 58, and our record is 63. So we're beating our bean yields also. Illinois is also having a yield of 67. Their record is 65, and last year was 63. So we still have a plethora of beans coming at us. And Minnesota, who is having the devastating rains again, this year their average yield is 48. Last year was 48. Their record is 52.5. So just wanted to give you some comparisons of years over year, just to put it into perspective for you, just to share with your producers if they're trying to find pricing, something to go by, some fundamentals to help them understand the big picture markets, what to expect for basis possibly, what to look out for targets going forward. It's not probably favorable for prices going forward. So for now, we're going to continue to harvest our crops. Pray for a little bit of rain because we are pretty dry out there. Hope not to get blown away. Watch to see if we get some rains materialize in South America. And that's all from the grain world. If you have any questions about the previous numbers that I mentioned, reach out to any one of the grain team members, and we're happy to decipher those numbers for you. But have a safe and healthy harvest. Thanks.